Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, grateful recovering alcoholic and addict. I guess we're gonna stick to that because I kind of like it. Actually, it's a good reminder, right? And it's a good reminder for anybody out here that needs help that you too can recover. You can overcome anything, and I'm living proof of that. And that's all right. First of all, guys, thank you for being here with me. Please subscribe to the video, to the channel. It's free, it doesn't cost anything. It really helps me get these messages out, and I really appreciate it. If you get anything out of this, please feel free to hit the like button and share with anybody that might be struggling. Right? There's a lot of good insight, guys. You know, as I've talked about before, and we'll kind of touch back because we've been going along for a while now. I was somebody that suffered from alcoholism and drug addiction for 40 years. Right? Now, I haven't had a drink in 24 years, but I immediately put down the alcohol because I was, just it was costing me so much. Bottom line, guys, it wasn't that I was acknowledging the problem I had. I was acknowledging the problems it was causing me, right? And whatever it took, that's fine. At least it got me to put it down. And I haven't had a drink in 24 years, okay? But I immediately put down the alcohol and picked up the drugs. And it started with cocaine, and then I was trying to recover from cocaine because I got real bad, guys. I literally walked away from my entire life. I literally traded my life at the time. House and job and everything else for cocaine, which was insane, right? Walked away from everything, moved in with my coke deal, and became this delivery guy. It was insane. And I finally, when the heat got too bad on that one, I walked away from that, and I was doing okay for a little while, and then I got hit by a car, and I immediately picked up the opiates, right? And the opiates are brutal, okay? Anybody that hasn't gotten into them, you're thinking about it, don't do it, man. Let me please. I mean, first of all, everybody knows there's an epidemic out there, right? But let me tell you, I was somebody that would go and, I'd break a finger, break a wrist or something, they'd give me a script of Percocets and I'd give them away because they upset my stomach and I didn't care for them, right? And first of all, they don't help shit with pain anyway. You've got pain, take Tylenol, Motrin together. That's the best painkiller out there, okay? So, yeah, so anyway, I got hit by the car. I had broken my hip and fractured my vertebrae, and they would give me all sorts of perks, and it took off, man. It literally, that was, what did I say that was? I think it was back around 2004, and we're in 2025, and it was the end of 2024 that I got into rehab this last time and got my sobriety for real this time, okay? So 20 years. That little car accident and letting myself get hooked on the opiates cost me 20 years of my life. And Percocet. And I tell you, I used to hear heroin, and I thought it was that was some dirtiest fraud out there. No matter how messed up I was and anything, and I used to take mushrooms and acid and all sorts of shit, right? But heroin was something I knew to stay away from because I knew heroin is just it's a bad thing, right? Well, I ended up hooked on heroin for like the last 15 years. It was about 5 years into opiates. The pills they started regulating the pills and taking away, and heroin was stronger and cheaper, and that's what I got into, right? So, and then, of course, heroin became fentanyl, which is ridiculous, right? Fentanyl is just probably the worst thing the devil's come up with yet to get us hooked in, and they're putting you guys, and keep in mind, guys. They're putting fentanyl in everything these days. I'm hearing about weed laced with fentanyl, cocaine laced with fentanyl, and it's true. I'm literally, I watch people, fail for fentanyl and coming into rehab that swore up and down. And the other thing that they weren't touching the fentanyl because these guys are putting in the cocaine and everything else because it gets you addicted, and then also you have to have the cocaine, right? Because cocaine's never been physically addictive, just mentally. Well, now they're putting fentanyl in it to get you mentally addicted. So, guys, you got to be careful of this shit. You gotta really. It's just not worth it. It really isn't. Anyway, it's really not. But we're going with that. But anyway, so I was out there for as long as I was, and I suffered, and I've been through every trauma as we've talked about, and we're gonna start going back over some of the chapters of my story and explaining a little more into it, but not tonight. Tonight we're trying to keep this upbeat. And the reason I'm touching on this is I just got back from the gym, and as I was at the gym. I'm doing a lot these days, so I actually answer my phone now, right? I never used to. If I didn't recognize certain numbers, I just wouldn't answer them because I didn't want to talk to people. Well, now I typically want to talk to people. But another random drug dealer that had my name from, my phone number from whoever called. And I recognized, I don't even know, I couldn't even tell you his name, but I could recognize his voice right off the bat. And he's like, hey, man, I got, and then before he even got fire out of his mouth, because they all say, we got fire. Hey, brother, I've been away. I went to rehab. I'm good. Oh, okay. All right, man. I'm good. Don't call me anymore. I appreciate it. Bye. I hung up. And don't even, right? And literally, in a few short months, I've gotten to the point where it doesn't even phase me anymore. And you can get there too. But there's a set of steps that I followed, and I strongly suggest you follow, or at least find your version of the same overall things. And it starts, as I always talk about, man. This whole channel is dedicated to God because God has saved me, man. God pulled me out of the fire. I mean, I tried getting into recovery before, and usually when I was a lot worse off than I was this time around, because it was always either coming out of jail and losing the place, or, just not having anywhere to live. And I did. You guys, I told you about it. I spent 3.5 years homeless, and it's brutal. I'll never do that again. And I'll never have to either, and that's the beauty of this, right? So, yeah, so, all right, the steps, right? First of all, that's why every program, no matter what program you get into, they tell you got to find your higher power, because there's no two ways about it, guys. There is a higher power. All this was not created by humans. We came along billions of years afterwards, right? So find your higher power. Surrender to said higher power, okay? And then learn to be grateful. That's the biggest thing I noticed, right? I'm I'm at a point where I consider myself lucky, but at the same time, it's because I'm setting myself up for success, right? I talk about all the time positivity, and positivity starts with gratitude. It all started for me with gratitude because God took the negativity out of my heart. I got to a point where all I saw was negativity everywhere I looked, and I just didn't care. And I didn't engage, and I didn't speak, and I just felt smothered by drugs. And I'm not anymore. I'm finding my voice. I'm finding this platform, and I'm finding I want to reach out and I want to help people, right? And that all stems from being grateful because I know the more I do for others, the more I get. And that's fantastic, right? And I'm not doing for what I'm getting. I already have everything I need. I have my life back. I have hope. I have the ability I have a clean slate, literally, because I had the balls to cut out everything that didn't serve my highest good. And that's what I strongly suggest you do. And again, people have a lot more attachments, and you gotta pick and choose. Like you made a commitment to family, by all means, man. But be the best version of you can be for your family. You know, fill your cup up so you can fill their cup up, right? But do it the right way. So find your higher power. Be grateful. Surrender. Be grateful. Find out what it is that bothers you, what avails you, what put you in the places you were that you wanted to get back from, right? And actually do the work. I mean, that's the biggest message of what I'm trying to tell you every day. I tell you everything's the biggest message, but it's all important stuff, right? And it all ties in together. Be willing to do the work. Because once you get going, it's like anything else. It's like starting the gym, right? First week going to the gym is miserable. Everything hurts. You can't move the next day. You can't barely put up any weight, and you feel terrible, right? And as you go for a few weeks, you get into a rhythm. You start feeling better. You start getting back to the strength you had before. You start moving the weights around you did before. And it's the same thing with getting into changing your life and making your life better. The more you are willing to self-care, take care of yourself. The more you're willing to take care of yourself, the more you have to give to other people. And we're all in service to other people, whether we choose to admit it or not. If you're not, then you're a really selfish prick, right? And at some point, and again, it's okay to be selfish when you're healing, when you're giving yourself self-care. That's one thing, but you can't live selfish every day in and day out, right? I love to give to other people. That's why I'm doing these videos, guys. I want to help people, right? I'm dying to know that I'm making a difference in somebody's life with my experience, the shit that I've been through, right? And again, you've seen my videos, right? Or if not, go back and look at the my testimony, part 1 and 2. I walked the fire for 40 years, and I survived. And a big part of why I survived is because I got a big heart, and I always tried to see the good, and I tried to take the pain that I was feeling and turn it into love for somebody else. And I may have been doing it for selfish reasons, because I didn't want anybody looking too closely at me so I could maintain my day-to-day bullshit that I was spreading. And that's all it was, guys. I was living bullshit 24/7. Anybody ask me how I'm doing? I'm doing fucking great. Yeah, I'm great. I've lost 50 pounds. I can't afford to eat, and I owe every penny I make to a drug dealer. It's fucking fantastic, right? No, I was dying, right? I was literally dying. I just didn't want nobody to notice it. But I've stopped that, and the amount of life changes that I've made, and God has helped me see and got me through. Because I lean on God every day, guys. I literally just came in from the gym. First thing I did was went and dropped my knees and said a prayer, and regardless of what you feel, what you believe in, if you don't believe in prayer, then meditate. It's basically the same thing, right? But it slows you down. It gets you insightful. Introspection is huge, guys, because when you can start to figure out the way that you work, you can start to change the way that you react. And when you change the way that you react, you change the physical reality around you. And if you want a better life, that's what you got to do. right? You don't need to change necessarily the people unless you got somebody that's just, toxic. And again, I talk about it all the time, and I don't want anybody taken the wrong way. I'm not out here advocating people start, running away from their families' responsibilities. By all means, absolutely not. But I was in a place where I had surrounded myself with toxic people because I was known as somebody who would give, and I didn't stick up for myself. So all these people that wanted to leech off me were just clinging on to me, right? Not everybody, and that's why I still have certain, friends that I have. But, um, all the toxicity's got to go, right? And that's what, fear, anxiety, that when somebody shits on you and you just want to put it back onto the next person, all that is perpetuating toxic, actions and thoughts and beings, and it's poison to your soul, guys. It's poison to your heart, right? And which is poison to your brain. I mean, everything else, it's common sense, right? So change your thoughts, change your actions, change reality. And all of us want a better life. I know I certainly do, and I'm living a better life. I'm a living example. And remember, guys, talk about all the time, frequency, vibration, everything in the world is frequency and vibration. And what I'm doing by fixing myself is I'm changing my vibration, right? Which means I'm attracting better things. Now, I still have problems. Everybody's going to have problems. What it is, I'm trading in some really nasty problems for a much more comfortable level of problems. The problems I have today, my hardest day today is a million times better than my best day prior. And that's as simple as that. I mean, there's no two ways about it, guys. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Guys, please like, subscribe, comment. I'm trying to build a community around me as well, like-minded people, so we can make a difference in this world. And so please, by all means, feel free to drop a comment, send me an email, let me know how you're doing. If there's something I can do for you to help you, if you're going through something tough and you just need somebody to talk to, that I don't judge, man. One thing about me, and that's why so many people didn't mind talking to me, is I don't judge. I've been in the worst of life. Literally, dude, I walked through hell for 40 years. I can walk through hell with my eyes closed at this point. The last thing I'm going to do is judge you, right? I've either been there, done that, or done a hell of a lot worse, and been through a hell of a lot worse, right? So please, that's what I'm here for, guys, to help out. So remember, guys, God loves you. I love you. Nobody else has told you that today. I do. I'm trying to do something here. We're all family, guys. We really are. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we make all of our lives better. There's a reason they call it community. We got to be there for each other, okay? Guys, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting this channel. I appreciate you so much. And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you, guys. Be safe.